Hello, it's Get Good Fox here, and it's time to look at another home base. This time, the Wheelhouse Truck Stop, one of the bases in Drucker County. Now, in the previous episode, I was in the Cabin Park Motel, and I didn't really like that base, so I'm hoping that the Wheelhouse Truck Stop will be better. As usual, I'm going to tour the base and analyze it so you can see if you want to move in ahead of time. So let's get started with the map location. So the Wheelhouse Truck Stop is located all the way to the far east of Drucker County, and normally I would tell you the advantage or the disadvantage of its geographic location, but the thing about Drucker County is that most of the bases are located around the perimeter of the map. Only two of them are located more inland. That would be the Vogel House and Wally's Bar and Grill. And if we combine this with the idea that Drucker County, for the most part, is a circular map, you've just mainly got that wedge in the southwestern area that creates a corner, it means that all of the perimeter located bases are, for the most part, equally bad in their location because they're all going to require you to drive extensive distances if you get a mission objective or if there's something you're interested that's on the other side of the map. That said, the location of a base is only one of its attributes, and the quality of the base itself can overturn a bad map location, so let's see what we are dealing with. So when I actually got to the base, my spirits were lifted significantly because I can see now that one of the biggest perks of this base is that it's defended by Optimus Prime. And then it hit me. It all makes sense. In G1 Transformers, the Autobots' headquarters was in this really rocky, mountainous area. That must be where we are, because Drucker County is also this rocky, mountainous area. So I decided to get in the base and climb up to the roof axis, which on one hand allows us to get a better aim at zombies. It lets us pick enemies off from afar, but it would also let me get a better look at Optimus Prime. And here's what I found out. And it turns out that this isn't Optimus Prime at all. It's just a giant semi-truck as a prop for this building. So it hit me, okay, I get it. There is a much more reasonable explanation for what this location is. So I took a step back mentally and thought, what kind of establishment would have a giant semi-truck with all this junk in its trunk? And then it hit me. I was like, oh, this isn't the Autobots headquarters. This is a Transformers strip club. Of course, this is where the Autobots go to blow off steam after battling the Decepticons. Anyways, I found that the Wheelhouse Strip Club doesn't really have a very intuitive design in terms of getting around. I often got lost and had to look at the map, like, where the hell are my cars parked at? It wasn't really obvious entering and exiting the building. I think some of this is because the buildings themselves are just kind of laid out in a weird way. It's basically a series of three structures, and the central one is what appears to be a restaurant, and then that combines with the fence, which is one part normal everyday barbed wire fence, and then one part dilapidated mess of cargo containers and concrete barriers. Strangely out of sight though, let's actually move into the base. If you want to do that, you're going to have to pay 1,000 influence, and you need at least 5 community members to move in. And this little perk looks interesting. Take a look at this. Good radio equipment. Salvaged CB shop gear speeds up radio operations. Wonder what that does. And this is what the base looks like as soon as you buy it. A lot of stuff going on here. I see a damaged facility and multiple temporary initial facilities, so let's start the investigation. And the first thing we've got are 3 seating areas. They are all identical to each other. They are each giving you +1 beds, and when you tear them down, they will each give you +5 materials. You definitely want to do that too, because 1 bed for 1 small facility slot is a terrible deal. Next up, we've got outdoor beds, which give us +2 beds, but because they're outdoors, we lose 1 morale per community member, and this is awful. We definitely want to remove it. And lastly, we have a damaged auto shop. We gotta repair it before it's worth anything, so let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty, and here's what we are dealing with after we repair and strip out all these optional facilities. We've got 1 large facility available for us and 4 small facilities. 1 of them is outdoors and 3 of them are indoors. Having only 1 small outdoor facility limits our ability to construct the outdoor exclusive facilities such as a watchtower. So if you want a watchtower, it has no choice but to be there. On the other hand, we have 5 facilities that are permanent built-ins. We can tell this because the facility icon frame is in blue. These facilities can never be removed, but sometimes they can be upgraded and modified. So let's take a look at what we've got. And the first one is huge fuel storage. If you have ever dreamt of having plus 100 fuel on top of what your base would normally have in the storeroom, then dreams do come true, because that's exactly what this facility does. I have no idea why you would ever need or even want plus 100 fuel storage, so to me, this facility is just a huge waste. Next up is the command center, and normally I tell you there's nothing special about command centers, but this one is where we get that good radio equipment bonus, and it's giving us plus 35% command center action speed. And what this means is if you were to use any of the command center's abilities, they will take about 1/3 less time to finish. I think the bonus is kind of meh, kind of whatever, but let's move on to the restaurant kitchen. This facility has all the functions of a kitchen level 2, but because it's built in, we don't have to pay the 1-a-day material upkeep cost. And over here we have a standard storage facility. Take note that it is completely unupgraded, so you will have to make the upgrades yourself. And lastly, our built-in large facility is the auto shop, the one that we had to repair. And I believe it is identical to the auto shop you can build, and I do find it to be a little bit strange. Now, it's not strange that there is an auto shop in a Transformer strip club. You know, it's probably where the VIP room, the special activities occur, if you know what I mean. But what is strange is that the advantage of this facility is that you can bypass the need to have the auto mechanic trade skill to build this in the first place. But to really make use of this facility to build the armor upgrade kits that upgrade your vehicle into super apocalypse vehicles, you still need an auto mechanic. So the main thing it's good for is building car upgrades, and it's advantage that you can have this facility without needing an auto mechanic, but then you don't have the auto mechanic to fulfill its main advantage. What would make this facility actually worth it is if it passively provided knowledge of auto mechanics, as the crafting still does in Squellone's brewery, providing knowledge of chemistry so you can actually use the stills. As such, though, this facility is pretty much a huge waste, and you're going to wish that you could tear it down and just have a second open facility slot for your large facilities, but alas, it is a permanent built-in. That is, unless you're into some degenerate, kinky robot shit.
But I read in Esquire magazine that some robots are hardwired to be robosexual. Don't believe those lies, son.
Anyways, let's go over my customizations for the base. First, I've got an infirmary, of course. Then over here, we've got our advanced Red Talon workshop, which you can only get through the Daybreak DLC. If you want to know what it does, check out my Daybreak facility review. Then I've got a hydroponics facility that's growing medicine, the mighty Red Talon Watchtower in our only outdoor small facility, big time threat reduction. If you want to know more though, go check out the Daybreak facility review. And lastly, a level 3 farm growing food in our one large facility option. You can't get to level 3 for a farm unless you have a trader as a leader. And now it's time for the conclusion. Is this base any good? And all I have to say about that is all hail Lord Megatron, because I am defecting from the Autobots. This base sucks. The map location sucks. It's got these 2 facilities. Like, why are they here? You've got the plus 100 fuel. Who needs it? You've got the auto shop that you can't use. And even if you had the auto mechanic, it would be better to have the option to tear the facility down if you didn't want it. These crappy built-ins leave you with really few options. Just one facility to customize. Just 4 small facilities to customize. It's not good. Once again, I would much rather live in Wally's Bar and Grill. It's located more in the middle of the map, and the customization options are pretty similar. But at any rate, that concludes my review. Leave me a comment down below if you think this is actually a really good base, and maybe there's something I've overlooked, something positive about it that I had not noticed. Like this video if it was helpful or entertaining. Subscribe to my channel for future State of Decay 2 content, and remember that you don't have to be good to get good.